the grand theater of human ingenuity, where the scripts often lead to the absurd, there is a curious subplot involving dolphins. Yes, those cheerful, fin-flapping, sonar-wielding marine mammals have been enlisted by the US Navy for over 50 years, playing a rather dangerous game of hide-and-seek with underwater mines. This elite squad, whimsically dubbed the Mark 7 Marine Mammal Systems, has been performing feats of detection and marking that would make even the most seasoned human divers blush with inadequacy. This story begins in 1960, when a Pacific white-sided dolphin was acquired for hydrodynamic studies seeking to improve torpedo performance. But the technology of the day failed to demonstrate that dolphins have any unusual capabilities in this respect. This research has now resumed with the benefit of modern-day technology. Among the possible drag-reducing mechanisms being studied for human use are skin compliance, biopolymers, and boundary layer heating. Nevertheless, their exceptional echolocation abilities, which allow them to see with sound, made them perfect candidates for detecting underwater mines. These mines, often hidden deep beneath the ocean's surface, pose a significant threat to naval vessels. The dolphins, with their sonar capabilities far superior to human technology, were trained to find these deadly devices and mark them for disposal. There are 5 marine mammal teams, each trained for a specific type of mission. Each human-animal team is known by a mark number, MK for short. The 5 teams are called MK4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. MK4, 7, and 8 use dolphins, MK5 uses sea lions, and MK6 uses both. These teams can be deployed at 72 hours notice by ship, aircraft, helicopter, and land vehicle to regional conflicts or staging areas around the world. One of the most notable was Mark 7. These dolphins, primarily bottlenose dolphins, could locate a mine within seconds, a task that would take human divers much longer. Once a mine was found, the dolphins would place a buoy marker near it so it can be avoided by Navy vessels or neutralized by Navy divers. And what, you might ask, is the reward for these high-risk, high-stakes missions? Fish, of course. Not just any fish, but the finest restaurant-grade fish, because nothing says thank you for navigating through a field of deadly explosives quite like a nice piece of mackerel. Meanwhile, their human colleagues, who presumably avoid the minefields themselves, receive medals and commendations for their bravery and service. It's a fair exchange, really, life-risking maneuvers for a fishy treat versus a shiny piece of metal to hang on the wall. If that doesn't encapsulate the essence of human-animal relations, nothing does. Over the years, these dolphins have been deployed in various conflicts, including the Vietnam War and the Gulf Wars. During the Vietnam War in 1965 to 75 and in Bahrain in 1986 to 1988, MK6 was operationally deployed to protect harbors and ships from enemy divers. These marine sentries were so effective that rumors spread about their capabilities, including wild tales of dolphins trained to attack enemy divers. While the idea of dolphin commandos might sound thrilling, the reality was a bit different. When a dolphin detected an enemy diver, it would stealthily approach and attach a buoy device to the diver's air tank, which would then explode, alerting Navy personnel. Meanwhile, sea lions performed a similar task, but they would attach a device by handcuffing one of the diver's limbs. Their role wasn't just defensive. In the Gulf Wars, they were once again called upon, this time to clear underwater mines. One of their most famous deployments was during the liberation of Kuwait. Here, the dolphins successfully located mines, allowing for the safe passage of naval vessels. The Navy concluded that thanks to dolphins, they were able to detect more than 100 anti-ship mines and underwater booby traps from the port of Qasr. Beyond these high-stakes missions, the dolphins and their sea lion counterparts were also involved in object recovery under MK5. Sea lions, with their exceptional vision and hearing, were trained to locate and attach recovery hardware to underwater objects like practice mines and test equipment. Their skills were demonstrated spectacularly in 1970 when a team recovered an anti-submarine rocket from a depth of 180 feet or 54.86 meters. They easily outperformed human divers, who are limited by shorter working times and fewer repeat dives. But it wasn't all work and no play for these intelligent creatures. One famous dolphin, Tuffy, became a star in 1965. Tuffy participated in the Sea Lab 2 project off La Jolla, California, an experiment where divers lived underwater for extended periods. Tuffy was trained to carry tools and messages between the surface and the underwater habitat 200 feet or 60 meters below, and to locate and guide lost divers to safety, demonstrating the remarkable potential of dolphins in supporting human activities underwater. The Navy has always maintained that its marine mammals have never been trained for direct attack missions against people or ships. The rationale is simple. Dolphins cannot distinguish between enemy and friendly vessels or divers, making them unreliable for such tasks. Instead, these animals are trained to detect all mines and swimmers within a specified area and report back to their handlers, who then decide on the appropriate response. The NMMP remained classified until the early 1990s, leading to much speculation and sensational media coverage about its true nature. Stories have surfaced from time to time claiming that military dolphins were trained for attack missions or even equipped with weaponry. One such story emerged during Hurricane Katrina in 2005, when reports claimed that some of the Navy's dolphins, equipped with poison dart guns and trained to attack hostile swimmers in the water, escaped when their base in Lake Pontchartrain was breached. However, the Navy quickly dispelled these rumors, stating that all its dolphins were accounted for and that its only dolphin training center was in San Diego. Some dolphins did escape from the unrelated marine life oceanarium in Gulfport, Mississippi, but they were later recaptured. As fascinating and effective as the Navy's use of dolphins has been, it hasn't been without its critics. Concerns range from the stress these animals endure during transportation to the abrupt introduction into unfamiliar environments. Moreover, the working environments carry inherent risks, such as the possibility of accidental mine detonations, although the Navy asserts that these risks are minimal. There's also the fear that enemy forces might target these dolphins, leading to unintended casualties. And some critics go further, arguing that it's fundamentally immoral to involve animals in human conflicts. As strange as it sounds, the United States isn't the only country with dolphin brigades. The Soviet military dolphin program based in Sevastopol, Crimea, was passed to the Ukrainian Navy. Years later, in a presently undesirable plot twist, Ukraine reportedly sold its dolphin forces to Iran. Now, if dolphins weren't already busy enough dodging underwater mines, imagine them having to hide from the morality police too. Not to be outdone by itself, in 2012 Ukraine allegedly resurrected its own military dolphin program. But things took another turn after Russia occupied Crimea in 2014. Depending on who you ask, the dolphins either heroically died in a protest by hunger strike or continued to wander around Crimean waters, outliving most of the Russian Navy by 2024. The remaining suspect on the list, Israel, was accused of using militarized dolphins equipped with cameras and harpoon-style projectiles within close proximity of the Gaza Strip. So the question stands, should humans continue to employ dolphins in its operations, or is it time to fully embrace technological alternatives? What do you think?